Which brings me to another point on that in Journey, looking back and even now. Mm-hmm. Because you can learn the things that work will always work. And so when we were in the thick of our stress, back in that time when we made the decision to be kind to each other, one of the biggest stresses that we were experiencing at that time was debt, just the cost of living and fuel, 2 cars, insurance, debt, credit cards, and not enough income. Mm-hmm. So what we did to get control back is we did an exercise where we actually went on a cash lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And it started with a 30-day experiment that grew into a 90-day experiment. And it only took 90 days to make some changes. You've heard the term when you listen to these success podcasts, you're listening, what gets measured improves. Yep. Right. In any business management plan.
Right.
So what gets measured improves. Mm-hmm. Well, the challenge that we had, we got a check, and it was a big check. We had income. Yeah. But I personally never saw the money because the check came and then they got into direct deposits. So I never got to experience what is money, the money that I'm leaving the house 80 hours a week. Yep. What does that look like?
Right.
So what we did was we cashed the check, went to the bank, cashed the check, and then started an envelope system.
Nice.
We had utilities, bills that needed to be paid, and then our disposable cash. Mm-hmm. And then we each had a little pocket-sized notebook, and we took, I call it the pile of money. I had a money clip. Mm-hmm. And for 30 days, we only paid cash. And whether it was a dime or $1 or $20, everything got logged. And the power in that exercise is twofold. Yep. One, when you're like right now, I do Zelle and I do Venmo and all that stuff. Right. That's just a transaction. It's a number, it's math, and I don't even need to know how to add. It's going to do it for me. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So someone sends me the request, I send them that, and then all of a sudden my balance is down. Yep. But I will promise you, if that cash was sitting in my hand, every time I'm looking at that pile of cash, I'm going to make a decision. How far down do I want it to go? Because I'm in charge of that now.
Right.
Not Venmo, not the app. So anyway, we did that exercise where we paid attention to the money, to place value on that.
Yeah.
And then we placed value on us because now we realized we're the ones in control of who gets that. Yeah. So now we have a decision we're in charge of. And so what happened was we realized, wait a minute, we are empowered, but who did that for us? We did. I didn't need my employer to empower me.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm the one that said, hey, wait a minute, I'm the one doing all this work. I'm trading my hours for these dollars. When am I going to place value on what I do?
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
And if you don't want to be controlled in life, get out of debt.
Yeah, I mean the discipline that
absolutely
that takes.
Yeah,
you were rewarded with freedom.
Yes, and you could see it, the value of that. After 90 days, what we realized is we spent a lot of money on things we really didn't need.
Right.
So then you can start the exercise. Why am I doing this? So picture this. That was 30 years ago. Yeah. Now, Andy and I are in our 60s. She just literally last week printed the spreadsheet and balance, identifying the categories of where we spend our money. And we are doing the exercise again.
Nice.
Now, here's what's different. The circumstances are different because we don't have the debt and all that.
Right.
But the reason we're doing the exercise now, though, is because, as weird as this sounds, I asked we have family trusts and we have investment advisors. I asked the investment advisor, I'm 62 now. I qualify to take Social Security.
Right.
When should I take Social Security?
Yeah.
And he gave me a great answer. He said, well, that's an interesting question. A lot of people ask it. And he said, the answer to that question requires me to ask you this question. How long do you plan to live?
Yeah.
And I said, well, statistics say I'm probably going to make it to 90.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
He said, how old are you now? I'm like 60. Okay.
Yep.
He said, so picture this. you're going to live a whole nother generation.
Yeah.
He said, how many careers have you had to this point?
Right.
How long were you in those jobs? He said, you're talking to me about how you're going to make it from now till you die without those incomes coming in and feeding. Now you're going to work on your pile.
Yep.
He said, so the answer to your question on retirement and all that is, how long do you plan to live?
That's it.
And then he said, so you have options along the journey for taking Social Security. Mm-hmm. He said, I would only advise you to take. Now, of course, he knows our situation.
Right.
He said, if you do not have to have
mm-hmm.
Social Security to pay any of your bills for the next 8 years,
yep.
he said, then my advice to you is to wait till you're 70.
Yeah, because it doubles, doesn't it?
It'll double and it's tax-free.
Whoa.
Right?
So is it age 75? Is that the last time you can take it? The last age you can take it?
I think so. At 70 is when the magic takes place. On it won't be more valuable at 75.
Oh, it will?
It will not.
So 70
at 70
is a good time.
Yeah, is a good time to take it. But what was interesting in taking a look at that exercise was realizing that at this stage in our life, it's more important for Andy and I now because we have money, we don't have debt. We have strategic debt on mortgage. That's it.
That's it. Yeah, good.
Consumer debt, all that other stuff is done because we went on a cash lifestyle.
Yep.
And literally have spent probably the last 10 years actually getting rid of stuff.
Okay.
Unburdening, we call them anchors.
Yep.
Getting rid of all the anchors.
Right.
So that we don't have to do anything.
Yep.
But on this next 28 years, think about, it's one thing to be 62 and say 90, and then it's another say in 28 years. Well, picture what 28 years is. Yeah. You haven't even been a dentist for 28 years yet.
That is a generation.
Right?
Yeah.
So we have a whole bunch of people that are getting scared because there's a lot of uncertainty in that.
Sure.
But I also know that I'm not going to live at 90 like I am at 62. The things I'm going to do, my lifestyle should not be costing me more money over the next 30 years.
Right.
I've done a lot of that. So I get to plan how I want to spend what I have. But what we're doing is we are now taking a look financially at how much money are we spending a year, because are we just not paying attention? I mean, why are we spending all this money? What are we spending it on? And we, at this point, years later, can look at that and go, there are lots of ways we can change even how we are spending what we do have right now by just paying attention.
Yeah.
So I was thinking when we were talking this morning at breakfast that I am right now, right in the middle. Both Andy and I are sitting and revisiting, taking back a little more of our power.
Yeah.
Because if I know, I have a saying that literally I built an entire career on. I was telling you, I went to college. I did not graduate. I actually quit my senior year.
Wow. Okay.
In April. I quit right before my senior year, and that's a good story on the journey.
Sure.
And I'll tell you that story. That was a really interesting experience on that. But I knew I was going to have to work hard, and I knew that not all my opportunities would land in my lap because I didn't have that career. But we're at a point now where I just knew in my journey, the career journey, when you're successful, and I was successful, you have a target on your back, right? So, and you probably have the same thing in the dentistry world. The big business in town's the one that everyone's either going to do one of two things: support and be excited for, or hope they fail. Yeah, it's not always positive. Success, there's a price, right? I developed a saying that I would just remind myself: nobody can stop a man with a plan, because nobody's got a plan to stop. So as long as I stay the course, or as I talk about Andy and I in the beginning, it was Joel and Andy. I remind her it's still us, and we've been through many things. We'll get through this together too. Whatever this is, we're just going to pay attention, watch what's going on. Something's going to shake out. And I'm a firm believer that change is not always bad.
Right.
it puts everyone in a position to have to rethink and take a look and go, what if? Well, what if? And is that right? Should it be that way? Whatever. That's positive.
Yep.
There's a lot of chaos and negativity that comes with it. But when the dust settles, there will always be something good coming out of change.
Right.
So, and if nothing else in this climate, it could be that everyone will just know where they stand. They're not wandering around wondering what they think. They'll start doing their own thinking.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So anyway, nobody can stop a man with a plan. Well, I'm looking at this budget that Andy's putting together going, so we're in charge of being the ones to make sure that if we think we're going to live to 90, we better have a plan together that's going to work.
Yeah.
Now, while it's working is a good time to start evaluating, not waiting till, oh, what happened? Where'd all the money go?